Let's talk about getting the perfect pack fit. I am using Luke here as an example. He has a pack fitted to him really well right now. We're going to go over the components that are involved in it. First, there's the hip belt, which you want centered on your hips and to have enough coverage across your iliacs, which we'll cover in a second. The harness, and then enough frame height to get lift and get the load off of your shoulders. So to accomplish this, the first part is you want the belt to ride about centered on your iliacs, and you want enough coverage going towards the front. As much coverage as you can get is optimal. You want the harness size to where it's C7. This is known as the C7, which is the bone right here in your neck, down to your iliacs is what is commonly known as the torso size. So where are your iliacs, Luke? Right there. Now drop your elbow. You'll notice this is the same place right here. So that's about the dimension that you want to set your torso size for the harness. And it's going to be mostly about moving the harness. Then you want enough frame height. Usually, frame height is a balance of head movement and lift for the load. If you're carrying really heavy loads, you might want enough frame height to go into your, near the top of your ears, but you might lose some head movement. With a slightly shorter frame height, you'll get good head movement. Go ahead and give an example. And you'll see Luke right now has the frame at about the bottom of his ears, and it gives him enough load lift for this load, which he has about 50 pounds in there. You can also increase the frame height by taking extensions and popping them in at the top here, which, as you see right here, will give you a little bit more load lift on that. Now, as Luke has this size right here, it's real stable. He can still get load lift. He can shrug his shoulders, move his shoulders underneath the harness. Anything you would like to add, Luke?
Yeah, you want them touching your shoulders, but you should still probably be able to get a thumb in there so that they're not pressed in and they're not floating above. If I really crank on these and they're totally off, that's too much lift. Back it off.
Okay.
Hey, let's look at adjusting the harness to change your torso length on a Seek Outside backpack. Let's say I just loaned it to my super short buddy and he ruined my adjustment and now I need to turn it back to where it'll fit me. I would say the easiest way to accomplish this is to pull the harness part of the way off, undo your load lifters, undo the upper ladder locks where the harness attaches so the harness falls down from its attachment points behind the back pad, and it'll expose these two metal tri-glides that set torso length. So let's say I want to make the torso longer. I will pull some webbing out so that the harness will be further from its attachment point at the bottom. Make sure that you get it even. See, not quite even yet. Pull a little more. That's pretty good. Now flip it back. Reattach the 1-inch webbing to the 1-inch ladder locks. How snug you set these ladder locks will determine how close the harness will ride to the pack. If you'd like it a little looser, a little more airflow, you can leave them a little loose so that you get some movement. If you like it to ride really tight, then you want to crank on these and get them pretty snug. Then just reattach your load lifters, and you can see that the harness is now riding higher on the pack, and I have lengthened the torso length on my Seek Outside pack. Hey, let's look at the belt now for adjusting torso length and how the pack rides. You can see the belt attaches to the frame through these grommets with 2 bolts and 2 lock nuts. You can see that there's 2 sets of grommets per side. If you want to shorten the torso length a little bit, you can move the bolts to these grommets so that the belt will move up in relation to the frame. What this also does is change where the frame curve hits on your back. So if the frame curve is a little higher than you want, that will also, by moving the belt, you can adjust where it hits you. What this will also do is it'll give more play in the belt. The belt ships like this on the upper grommet. That's how it's attached when we mail it to you. And you have some play. If you'd like some more play, moving to this grommet will give you that as well. If you'd like even less play, if you'd really want the belt locked in, you can take this grommet and wrap it around behind the frame and attach it. And that will move the belt even lower in relation to the frame and give it the least amount of looseness in the system.